The Flores Twins said when people robbed them, they just moved along. No, they fucking didn't. Because he slipped and said they knew who the boss was. So you might not pull the trigger on them, but you went back and told boss man, such and such just robbed us, and that's where all your dope is. And he's like, all right, putting a hit on him. You contributed to that hit. So don't sit here and say you wasn't violent and you didn't whatever. You fuckers are lying about everything. I asked him, what was the most memorable route that you've ever taken, that you've had? Because they talk about how genius they were at trafficking. Well, of course, El Chapo's tunnels. That's not yours. So El Chapo, what the f did you do? What, all you did was oversee the shipment when it got to Chicago to make sure. I asked him, I said, how the f you count all that money? Well, we didn't count none of it. Well, what do you mean you didn't count none of it? Oh, no, we had people that do all this stuff. I said, you trusted them with that much money? Well, no, they knew who the boss was. So it wasn't your money, so the boss controlled those people. He had his people in play. Well, so what was your job? Like, what did you really do besides the point that y'all had you overseeing the connections in Chicago and DC and stuff?
For all the people that been here, for the 3.5 years we've been doing this, I bet you y'all heard at least 3 lies in just that teaser. Y'all can tell me what they are in the comments. But I know you heard 3 lies in there. I heard him make claims that I don't remember happening. Honestly, I used to like Nelson, but I can see he's just like Jason. I saw that shit on day 1. I tell you guys all the time, liars gotta move in groups. They need to be next to another liar. So that when they tell the story and they look over, they be like, right? Remember? And they think nobody can see him. A motherfucker like me see you. Yeah, Val's pissed about this idiot and says he wasn't on her level. He wasn't on nobody's level. This guy didn't sell no dough. He didn't smuggle shit. Wasn't no Haitians. Wasn't nobody looking for him. He got a pill mill case. The rest of that story, nobody can account for that shit. You ain't got to cooperate to be a rat. You the worst kind of rat. You a swamp rat. He said, well, I was in a pill mill and, you know, I got caught. And then all of a sudden I'm getting kidnapped by Haitians. Man, shut the fuck up, man. We exposed him already. I know what he is. He's a nothing, inconsequential, harmless.
Welcome back to Crime and Entertainment. Returning guest, Jason Votrobek. Welcome back, my friend.
This is what pisses me off, because you go in the comments and everybody's like, where's your 1 million followers, bro? Like, here's your things, add them all up.
Followers, just talk like a 13-year-old all day long, boy. Followers, Owen Hanson's whole ass did the same shit in my DMs. Get some followers, get some balls, bitches. Get a true story and tell it.
I'm like, bro, I got more followers than you. And he's like, how? I'm like, add them all up on all my pages.
Oh my God, dude, what did you guys have a sleepover next? I'd expect my audience to be disappointed if they heard me on a fucking conversation with some other liars on the fucking internet like him, talking about, oh, how we gonna get followers?
The Flores Twins, they are lying about their past. Okay, so when you dive into these people, they want people to like them, okay? Gene is doing something differently.
He's telling you the play. He's giving you the game by pointing it at other people. He's telling you what he does. You need these people to like you, so they give you the views. Shut your fucking mouth!
They want, nobody backs this story up. Name one person that's
Who backs yours? Nelson. My girlfriend. That's who vouches for you.
Back to, there's some kid out there, like I looked up to the drug smugglers when my...
Man, shut the f up. Shut up, bitch. Shut you don't give a f about no kids.
Why don't these guys tell their viewers, like, hey guys, like, yeah, I did all this dumb shit and you can get life if you don't cooperate like I did.
You ain't been paying attention. That's all we've been doing here. 3.5 years, that's all we've been doing. Telling these kids that this whole shit is a lie. Telling these kids that rat or don't rat, you going to jail and you losing everything. Telling these kids that every dollar you make in this game is your lawyer's money. That's all we've been doing. All you've been doing is running around crying like a bitch. You came here, we opened our doors to you, we let you speak, thinking that you were on the same shit with us, thinking that you were doing the same shit as we were doing. And it took you 30 seconds of opening your mouth for us to see exactly what you were. What happened then? The comments saw through you, called you a liar. And what did you do? You shit on me, you shit on Jay, because you's a bitch.
It's like when Matt sent me the picture of you and him together. Like, Matt sends me stuff, right?
Yeah. He loves that. He's a name drop boy. He loves that. He be sending me stuff. He's a star fucker, bro. That's what he is. For criminals.
Like, everybody answers me in the DMs. Jake 1090, everybody answers me. when I come at them. Like, man, I'm thinking like, how in the world does this guy still even think my name in any positive way he wants to send me something? It blows my mind.
You're never going to get that from me. Ain't never going to be no positivity. There's no making up. There's no none of that. All that punk shit that y'all be doing, it's none of that. None of that.
So I have to respect the Flores Twins telling the truth on some stuff, right? Like, they bring the light to a lot of stuff, but they don't want to bring light to their story. That's where their story comes apart, and I have an issue with them, and I expressed it.
Now, you went on their show, though, right?
Yes, I went on the show.
So I think me and you spoke around the time you were supposed to be going on there. Which
you went on my show, Ginger bitch, and you showed the world your skirt.
I mean, their show is pretty big.
Their show is pretty big. Yeah, my show is pretty big, bro. As small as it is or as big as it is, it's real. Nothing bought, nothing, everything worked for with the truth. And I understand that the truth is of no value or of lesser value right now than the lies. But I've been working on that forever. I'm going to keep working on that. Fuck you. To whoever want to accept that fuck you, it's yours. Own it. The chat called the BS instantaneously. And he crumbled under the comments. But he want to be a YouTuber. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Shut up, bitch.
That realness worth gold, Shy. Please believe me. That's all I've offered.
So to get on that platform was a big step, but you kind of...
Well, he follows me. Follows my...
Yeah, to get on that shit was a big step, bro. And you know who followed you? Jay Flores followed you. I didn't. I didn't give a fuck about you.
Before.
Yeah, they followed you before, so you got the interview. Did you aggress that or approach that in the interview, or you just went through the interview as normal?
Okay, so what I do is...
You gotta fucking do magic. Why don't you just tell him? I came on the show. I swung off his nuts for 4 hours. I talked more about me than anything else. The chat called me a liar, and I cried like a bitch. Tell him the truth. He got to do the magic. Remember, we saw the guy get smoked on the scooter. What'd the guy in the back seat do? He put the hand up in his face to distract him while the other guy aired him out. Well, let me explain it to you first. Let me show you how it went down. Shh. Babe, how did it go down? Nelson, do you remember?
Get on
through the interview, did you aggress that or approach that in the interview, or you just went through the interview as normal?
Okay, so what I do is, to get on a platform like that, people are like, oh man, like you were kissing their ass on the thing. And I'm like, dude, if I would have came off aggressive,
they wouldn't have invited you.
They would have never had it on. Am I
wrong? It was a live stream. How would we have never had it on? It was a live stream, just like it is right now. Wrong.
I do is, to get on a platform like that, people are like, oh man, like you were kissing their ass on the thing.
Yes, you were kissing their, you were doing worse than kissing their ass, Papa. You was a wrecking ball for real. Swinging. You look just like that motherfucker swinging on that screen right there. Except it was a ginger bitch with male pattern baldness and a beard that he's had for a year. It was a live stream, dummy. If you would have done this, you would have done that. You didn't have the balls. You didn't have the cojones to call the man a rat on the show. You didn't have it. And now you're making excuses. So let me ask you, we were going to just turn it off? The moment that you called him a rat, we was going to turn off the live stream? I'm not these other channels. If you would have called Jay a rat, I would have fucking sat right here with my popcorn and let Jay handle you. And again, I've asked this question before. I'll ask the chat again. Is anybody in the chat believe at any point in time in that interview, if he would have called Jay Flores a rat and told him what he supposedly really thought, would Jay Flores have ran, or would Jay Flores have been right there with him?
Off aggressive,
they wouldn't have invited you.
They would have never had it on. Am I correct?
Yes, 100%.
No, not 100%. Maybe 100% in your ass world, not in my world. The Twins have come on here and taken the link and had callers talk to them, all kind of wild shit. You go out there, uneducated, stupid, talking about shit you don't know. So miss me with your 100%.
They're not going to have you on.
Correct.
So I did what it took to get the interview. Mm-hmm. And I was very respectful during the interview, and I was trying to ask questions.
I did what it took to get the interview? What does that even mean? Jay put me on to you. You saw us use your clip in a video about blowing Hanson. And then you reached out, said you wanted to come on the show. I said, come on the show. That was it.
That's why I respect Jay, and that's why I hit you up and was like, bro, I need to get on with Jay, because
we saw your content. We knew what you were. You think we didn't expect you to come on there and call him a rat? But you're a dork. You sat there and you swung off nuts for 4 hours. People were in the chat talking about, look at Shy's face. I want to cut this shit off already. So what? At hour 4, when it was over, you could have said, you fucking rat. I was just here to fucking play little kid games. Why didn't you do that? Fuck out of here, man.
And I was very respectful during the interview, and I was trying to ask questions. I started getting really frustrated because they would never answer no questions. And I'm like, why don't...
Y'all heard it. It's there. Shout out Jay Flores, bro. I'll take the blame for following him. He seemed different. Everyone does. But once they're there, they're thirsty. And then what happened? The comments were mean to me. And he cried like a bitch. Let me ask you something. Let me ask y'all something. Isn't it better TV if he does call Jay a rat and shit goes left? I'm not here trying to paint a narrative. Why would I ever stop a stream because two motherfuckers start calling each other names? How stupid does that sound? So that would have never happened. Don't listen to his bullshit. Jay would have never gone nowhere, and I would have never stopped the stream because he called Jay a rat and
frustrated because they would never answer no questions.
Answered
And I'm
everything.
like, why the fuck are they dancing? So I kind of like massaged them and talked about my story and other things.
You was definitely massaging him for 4 hours, maybe more. You was massaging like a motherfucker, man.
Things and patted them on the back, you know, trying to...
Oh, yeah, you was patting him on the back. You said the word praise. You said, you know why I praise the Flores Twins? You was a bitch.
Shut up, bitch.
Good. They're good. I mean, these boys, they're able to think before they talk. Let's just say that.
You should try that, you dumb f***.
They're able to think before they talk. Let's just say that.
Well, I think to be and operate at the level that they were, you kind of have to. Like, you've got to be
I
trained
disagree.
in that. Really?
I disagree.
Look. Now remember, in that last, when he was here, all he did was hold up nuts like Atlas holding up the globe. Now he wants to downplay them in the game.
I've dealt with... I didn't know nothing about the drug trade.
You still don't. You were never in the drug trade. You were never a smuggler. None of that shit. So you picked some shit that nobody could ever fucking prove. Some shit that don't exist, man. Magic.
What they have is something that not a lot of people can do. As in, learn not to answer. And that comes with...
No, mommy's wait.
You see, he can't figure out what to say, right? He's just fucking lying himself in circles over here. He's about to look at Babe or fucking the other shithead any minute.
How should I... Let me back this up. My girl will tell you. I
No.
Wow, he turned to the mastermind.
don't ask questions. Let me back this up.
Yeah, back it up. Back it up. You're so used to it, you didn't realize. You realized you was talking bullshit and you crumbled. Again, this is what you do. You crumble.
Let me back this up. My girl will tell you, I don't ask questions. I don't ask questions about stuff. I don't say a lot of stuff. I'm very preservative in like how I talk. I get on to her because she says too much.
My girl will tell you.
And people are like, oh, it's really smart and it makes them really smart. I'm like, no, anybody that's been in the dope game for a long period knows you can't, your whole life is a lie. Mm-hmm. So that's how you know them boys.
He's telling you to play. His whole life is a lie. He couldn't think of a good answer fast enough. He had to turn to his girl. I never ask questions. I tell my girl all the time. Right, babe? That's a question. Validation. Shout out Jay Flores, bro. I would have loved it. He's responding to me saying he would have never left if dude would have called him a rat. Bro, I would have loved it so he could see the difference between a real man and him. Honestly, I like doing hood rat shit with my friends, and that includes bochinche. I like drama.
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
That's it, man. That money.
They don't answer nothing.
No, they answered everything. Jay answered everything. And stop saying they. He likes to say they like if he spoke to Peter Flores. That's another lie that he just puts out there that nobody else pushes back.
Everything, supposedly. Why are you still hiding? Why won't you talk about your case? You want a movie done. You went on a podcast with 50.
Why? Because people need something to talk about. The same reason they talk about Oakland leaks. Who's behind the mask? We want to see. It's all for them. Jay and Pete ain't thinking about anybody else when it comes to taking their masks off. Them. You just want them to do it, or you want them not to do it so that you have something to talk about. Because you're a huele bicho. You know what a huele bicho is? A dick sniffer.
Talk about dude, they do hit pieces on everybody's story. You know, sizing them up. But
So do you. They got more credibility to do that story than you. There's a guy in a drunk tank somewhere that has more credibility to tell that story than you.
That interview that you did, y'all finished it.
we finished it. It was like over 3 hours?
And
No, 4 hours of you swinging nuts.
when you kind of done your piece on them.
No, I had no intentions to do a piece on them.
Yeah, you didn't. You came to swing off nuts. You came to tell them how great they were. You came to tell Jay Flores how much you admired his business, how much you admired his story, how much good shit you heard about them in the joint.
Jay speaks from the heart. Jay's telling how it happened and like why he did it. And I respect that. You know, like I'm not for cooperation, but I still respect Jay because you know what? He's a man. He's coming out here talking about it. And he's getting kids that are going to follow his story because he was huge. All fell apart is in the comments. Their people came after me hard.
Their people, those people, they haven't been back since. They came here because they knew you were a liar. They commented, you fell apart, and maybe we see one of them came back. I don't know. Is anybody here who subbed up after that conversation?
So I started responding to it in the comments. You know, it's hyping it up.
No, it's not. It's not hyping it up. Everything is hyping it up. We don't do no hyping it up over here. This ain't the WWE. I talk about real shit. I ain't hyping up shit. If I got to do some extra hype shit, the internet can kiss my entire mother ass. You dance. I was just hyping it up. Now you were melting down at the commenters. And instead of shitting on commenters, you started shitting on Jay Flores, the guy that just let you swing off his nuts for 4 hours. And me, the guy that gave you a platform to do it, you fucking monkey.
Promoter.
Yeah. It's like
Get
the
in
fight game, UFC game, Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah, fight game. Y'all play that game. I talk about a game that deals with lives being ended. Y'all play that game. Nice and safely from your Tony Montana room, you dorks.
I didn't have a problem with them.
You damn right you didn't have a problem with them. You had a problem with the comments and you fucking buckled. You showed your skirt. We saw your totin. So in his logic, they didn't answer anything. What was he swinging about for 4 hours? They should have put the link up, right? If either one of them, the interviewer or the ginger had the balls, they'd put the link up. They'd tell their audience, you decide if this guy's a fucking lying piece of shit or not. There's going to be a big dumb percentage that's going to believe him. And there's going to be a small smart percentage that's going to be like, oh, this guy's a huele bicho.
Truly wanting to help the youth and you really want to move forward.
You don't want to help no youth. Only one motherfucker around here that gives a fuck about babies, and it's me on the internet. Nobody else give a fuck. They ain't going to do no story about a little girl getting gunned down in the middle of a crossfire for some cartel bullshit. They not going to do it. I'm going to do it whether it hurts me or not. I'm not like the rest of these motherfuckers.
Why don't we do these few things, like work on these few things, like, you know, bring light to these things and let's do it together.
So he wanted to collaborate. Does he think his chances of collaboration were blown because the comments didn't believe him? So he said, fuck it, I'll just break bad and do it that way. If I can't get the views by swinging off his nuts, I'll get the views by talking shit about him. Because he's a grifter. And he moved from one scam to the other. Right? But he's a coward. So that's what he did.
It never got there because now I look back, I feel like it was a hit piece on me. They wanted to find.
Okay, how was it a hit piece? I never said a word in 4 hours.
I feel like it was a hit piece on me. They wanted to find a way to shut me down. That's why they didn't answer nothing. That's why they set me up the way they did. I kind of felt like afterwards.
How? How do we set you up? We pressed record. We pressed go live. You took over from there, dog, and you talked forever. And when they called you a liar in the comments, you cried. Why are you it's a simple story. Why are you not telling that story? Why are you not telling the people that rather than cuss out the person commenting, you said, yeah, well, fuck Jay, fuck Shy, fuck everybody. Why you didn't do that? Huh?
And when I started the comments, I'm like, holy shit. And I told him, I'll show you the things where
show him. He likes talking about, well, he'll show people, but he won't show you. You shouldn't have fixed your monkey ball ass, punk, lion ass lips to say my name, dog. You should have just shut the fuck up and forgot about me. Lo cagó el gallo.
Yo vivo tranquila con los pelos presos. Cállate, hijueputa.
Where I did Chai. His name is Chai
Yeah,
or whatever.
I know you're talking about.
I told Chai, I said, boy, your fucking people are vicious, dude. I'm talking about vicious. And he's like, yeah, well, the Twins are not happy with you.
Never happened. The images of the DMs are in the Discord. Never happened. Never happened. The Twins are not happy with you. I told him, as soon as he said to me, damn, your people are vicious, I said, you're acting like the hoe that they are calling you. That's exactly what I told him. I said that the Twins were not happy with him. What does that sound like? Does that even sound like something I would say? Or is that something that Heathcliff over here would fucking say?
Dude, I did Chai. His name is Chai or whatever.
I know you're talking about.
I told Chai, I said,
His name is Watch Your Mouth.
your fucking people are vicious, dude. I'm talking about vicious. And he's like, yeah, well, the Twins are not happy with you. I'm like, what? Dude, all I'm doing is responding to these.
Never happened. Never happened. The Twins. The fuck am I responding for the Twins for? Everybody's been lied to. You know that person, that drug addict in your life that'll lie about anything? And they'll just leave out the specific part. They'll leave out a specific part that is fucking detrimental to the rest of the shit. They'll just leave that shit out. That's him leaving it out. No, you responded by shitting on me and shitting on Jay. You didn't respond to them and shit on them. You're not telling that part. You're not telling that part. That makes all the difference in the world. Because then I asked you, my next question was, why didn't you call him a rat when you were on the live stream? And then you started saying a bunch of shit about me. He started saying a bunch of real disrespectful shit about me. Saying a bunch of gay shit about me. You crossed the line.
The right motherfucker. Let's get it.
Oh, I got the right. I'm glad I got the right motherfucker because I hate picking the wrong motherfucker. Always about finding the right motherfucker, man. Always, always.
And then instead of talking to me in the DMs, he went straight to the comments and started roasting me. So I was like, all right.
He was acting like a bitch. He said, I saw you liking their comments. Bitch, it's my channel. It's called engagement. You dumb bitch. So I ain't gonna lie. Motherfuckers like him are sick in their head. He's probably putting together a defamation case. He could go fuck himself. He's a liar. If that's defamation, fuck the judge, fuck the courts, fuck everybody. He's a liar. I got the proof, and that's it. Defame these nuts.
And so I just went ham on. I'm still not done with him.
You went ham? You ain't go ham on me. I fucking crushed you. There's hours of content of me crushing you. Stomping out that empty little space in your soul where your vagina sits, where your inner bitch lives. But he not done with me, y'all. Should I be worried? Should I have emotional damage?
Emotional damage.
Man. Go get your fucking shine box. Shy, why you call him all those disrespectful names? You should have seen what he was calling me. And now you out there lying on me? Ain't no lines to cross or none of that shit. There's no lines.
Numbers are really good. Nelson tells me all the time, he's like, dude, you don't post for weeks sometimes.
Dude, Nelson just be telling me all the time. Right, Nelson? Right, Nelson? Remember?
So Chai, I'm working on Chai, but I don't want to give him recognition.
You ain't worthy. There's no recognition you could give me. How could you recognize me? You can't recognize yourself. You don't know who you really are. That's how much you lie. I've known liars like you. You know why you can't say my name? Because you're unworthy of saying my name. You don't want to give me recognition? Papa, you going to talk about followers? I don't have followers, bro. I have an audience. I have a family. I have a team. We've been here for years without you. We did just fine without you. What do I need from you? Wouldn't you think somebody that needed something from somebody else wouldn't call them a ginger bitch? I don't know, man. I'm trying to find the logic in this bullshit.
Bullshit.
But this guy just talks too much. Just talk.
Too much information and
God,
shit.
damn. He don't want to give me recognition, y'all. You can't help me, bro. You a bum. Ain't nothing you could do for me.
I was going to go hard on him.
Oh, he was going to go hard. That sounds very pato, like what Tom Brown was talking about. He might be right.
Dug up some dirt. I called some people from...
He dug up some dirt. Show it. Show the dirt. Say it out loud. I'll do you one better. Get the person that supposedly gave you the dirt. Get them to show face. Put it out. If you dug it up, use that shit. Why would you put in all that effort and then not put it out? Because you pussy. That's why. Because this is all a show. This is all you doing monkey shit at the circus. That's it. He's wounded inside. Pray for him. I got nothing for him, bro. I got nothing for him. And I don't expect him to have nothing for me. I'm going to make sure of it. Put up the dirt. Why would you hold this in? Destroy me. Motherfucker's been trying for 30 years. Nothing.
Some stuff on him.
You found out some stuff on me? Don't hold it in, bitch. You're going to get indigestion. Holding in some shit about me. Let that shit out. Let that shit out. Let it fly, bro. Don't hold back. It's not healthy.
People from Chicago, I found
Call
out.
some people from Chicago. You ain't got nobody to call in Chicago. The only other motherfucker you could call in Chicago is another liar, sucker motherfucker just like you. Real motherfuckers in Chicago don't concern themselves with bums like you.
Don't want to promote his channel because
Okay, you don't want to. You said that already. You're gonna have to look at your girl or Nelson sometime soon, because you're starting a loop, and when you fall into that loop, it's because you've run out of shit to lie about. So we got to get you right.
he first started out as a Mexican rapper or whatever.
Okay, I'm not Mexican. You stupid bitch. You know what I'm saying? The easiest thing to get right, you couldn't do it. You're incapable. You're the definition of a can't get right. Loser shit.
He first started out as a Mexican rapper or whatever, and he was not successful.
I know, man. I did some dope shit with rap. Did some, more than anybody he knows, that's for sure. I think I was pretty successful, if you ask me. I was a better MC and more successful as an MC than he was as a smuggler, because I was an MC. And he was never a smuggler. Chai, a.k.a. Chai. You're adopted by the Mexican community, though. Indeed. Absolutely. Honorary Mexican. Absolutely. But this fucking jerk-off couldn't get that right? You had one job, stupid.
He got into podcasting, and he started talking about the Flores Twins, and the Twins came on the show. So his whole show was built on the Flores Twins only, nothing else.
Nothing else. We don't cover nothing else, especially little girls that get caught in crossfires, old men who fight back against the cartel, women who fight for their missing children. We don't talk about nothing else over here. We don't talk about the bosses being fucking rats and chomos. We don't talk about these motherfuckers being disgraceful fucking nothing human beings. No, we don't talk about none of that. A bum, loser, punk, motherfucker like you could never downplay what I do anywhere. If you find shit on someone, put it out there for clicks. Dude ain't find shit. He got nothing.
You know, and I understand whatever, but he's nobody.
I'm nobody. I'm nobody. That's why you swinging off my nuts on this show right now. Where's the dirt, bro? Don't have no sympathy for me. Don't do me no favors by holding in the dirt.
I mean, he's somebody in his community. Let me take that back.
Yeah, you right about that. Definitely somebody in my community. In my Chicago community and in my YouTube community. Yeah, absolutely. Why would you matter to me? You're a fucking monkey.
Why am I going to bring light to him when my issue is with the Twins?
Bro, we heard you already. And you didn't have an issue with the Twins until the comments punched you in the vagina. We have actual factual evidence of this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end up eventually going back in on the Twins because the Twins...
You're right. He did take it easy on Shy. I suggest you shut the fuck up. I suggest you keep my name out your mouth. We saw everything that happened. I never did nothing to you until you became a bitch, and that was it. After that, but we gave you a platform. We said goodbye to you. We gave you some respect, and the chat ate you, and you folded up. Get off YouTube, bro. Get off the internet, bro. Shut your bitch ass up.
Shut up, bitch! Shut your fucking mouth!
He mean Jay, not the Twins. Facts. No, he don't mean that. He knows what he's saying. He wants to make y'all think, or he wants to make the people that don't know better think that he spoke to them both.
have a little secret that they're not telling everybody, okay? Their name has been brought up in a lot of too higher to hit the kills.
Too hired to hit the kills. Shout out JP. He going to bring up King Kato, I bet. Absolutely. Now, let me ask you a question. You think he gives a fuck about King Kato? Or he just want to use his name to talk shit? Because why didn't he bring it up on the live stream? 4 hours of talking about the Haitians trying to beat him up. And not one time you don't bring it up to the man's face? Coward. It would have been an even better segment if he would have had the cojones to call Jay a rat. He didn't. Nor did he mention Kato, nor did he mention anything.
Their name has been brought up in a lot of hired to hit to kills. Okay? And they're like, well, we were never charged with it and the feds never did nothing. Well, let me explain some how the feds work. Let's go back to Sammy the Bull. He got, what, 5 years or 7 years for 19 murders?
Correct.
So you agree that they would allow, to get big fish, they'll let things go, right?
100%.
So you agree
That's
with
your
me?
biggest...
A lying shit talker using a dead Chicago man is nasty, egregious work. It's just, they come in here, they pretend nah, you don't care about that, man. Man, you just want to use his name to talk more shit. And you got to have proof. If you ain't got the proof, then shut the fuck
Shut up, bitch! Shut your fucking mouth!
But the feds usually want a little bit more because they know that our attorneys are pretty
Bruh,
good.
he got into the Flores shit and then took a left turn through fucking Brooklyn.
Crack them on the stand. I don't think not one of my witnesses held up on the stand.
Bruh, he went in off on it. Magic. Let's not talk about it.
2,000 years later.
So we get back into the whole thing with the Flores twins.
Bruh,
So
he took
you know who
20
Jay's wife is?
minutes on Gotti.
You know who Jay's wife is, right?
I've heard of her. Yeah.
Do you know who her ex was?
No.
Kato. It's Kato, right? Kato. So Kato was the Flores twins' main distributor. I gotta watch what I say.
Why you gotta watch what you say? If you're willing to lie, let that shit fly. That's a question only the Flores twins can answer. Was Kato their main distributor?
Is the one that had all the... Don't beat me up in the comments. I'm only going off of what I read, and I've had people from federal prison that are doing time on this case. The twins told. I mean, I've had some pretty high level phone conversations, so I gotta
So have I.
watch what I say, how I say it. So Kato supposedly was the hub. He was the main guy. Okay, and so he was the guy. That reason why the Flores twins were so successful is because they were supplying him, and he was supplying all the gangs. So he was the main guy that all the gangs went to get their supply. So he was Jefe of Chicago to a certain extent. I imagine there was other big people too, but he was, in his category, he was Jefe.
Right.
And the twins were supplying him. So Kato's wife...
We all know gangsters at high levels do business together, right? But it's a selective few. It's a gangbang city at the end of the day. And it ain't always like that where they could just do that kind of business together, right? It can be part of it. But who gets to all the gangs better? The motherfuckers that got the product, or everybody else that's at war with each other? I don't know. But let's go. Let's exploit Kato some more.
After,
Right.
And the twins were supplying him. So Kato's wife, after they put a hit on him and had him taken out, guess who marries her?
Bro, what's with the other guess who's? And you're talking to people, and they call themselves interviewers, and they call themselves crime shows. And it's shit that was said on Surviving El Chapo. It's shit that was said on the Cartel Wives. It's shit that was said on this channel. The information is out there.
Too much information and shit.
And you acting like you don't guess who it was. Guess. Can you check a guess?
Jay Flores.
Ooh, bombshell. He just told us something we didn't fucking know.
So let's alter this a little bit because I don't want whatever. Somebody in the family contacted me and said that they were having an affair, and Jay and them were getting really close because he was close to Kato because they were supplying him everything else, and they blame it on 100 and key something shipment of cocaine.
The same shit we hear over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, cool. Family member. I've offered this platform to anybody negatively affected by the Flores twins. Have I had people reach out and tell me, hey, I need you to know this so that you can ask the right questions? Yes. Have I asked those questions? Yes. Have we had satisfactory answers? Yes. Has anybody given me proof? Otherwise, no. If you want to fuck over the Flores twins, I'm the guy. If you want to prove that they're lying to me, I'm the guy to give the truth. But you got to have proof. I've been hearing stories forever. If you want to fuck the twins over, this is the place to do it. Because I'm not going to hold back on them if I find out they lied to me about anything. Because I didn't intrude enough for motherfuckers to have to lie to me. Does that make sense? Probably not to a lot of you motherfuckers. I've heard mad stories about that $100,000 shipment, okay? We've talked about that $100,000 shipment. We can't bring you the information, you ignore it, and ask the same question. It's either believe it, don't believe it, move the fuck on.
Shut up, bitch! Shut your fucking mouth!
Has it that
Rumor has it.
Jay wanted his wife and they wanted Kato out the way so they could be the hub, take out the middleman, and supply all Chicago because they couldn't take over Chicago with him controlling and play.
They couldn't take over Chicago because he had Chicago. They worked for him. What? Or he was the biggest distributor. What? Take over Chicago? While they were running Chicago, he was right there with them. Everybody was doing what they do. The Twins were so big, they didn't have one main distributor. They had many, many distributors. Newsflash, no one runs Chicago. Newsflash.
Coming from family members, and this is coming from somebody on Jay's conspiracy also too. The
All right, come and tell me. Tell me how they did you dirty.
person that used to deal with Kato, and then when Kato was taken out, Jay stepped in and took over all of Kato's supply.
So you're talking about somebody as powerful as Kato, somebody come in, take him out, and just take over? That's what you're telling me? They just took over all his routes? That's how that worked? All of the guys that he was connected with, he was supposedly the main distributor for all the gangs, they didn't do nothing about that? Coño, man.
And then when Kato was taken out, Jay stepped in and took over all of Kato's supply routes.
I mean, from a strategic standpoint, it makes sense.
Oh, it makes absolute sense to another motherfucker that, I don't know where you guys are from or what the fuck, but goddamn. This is crazy.
What's weird is that the word on the street, Jay takes out Kato, and the wife is not upset.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just
What a fucking idiot. Well, let me ask you something. If you're saying they planned this all out, why would she be upset? My boy definitely don't know Chicago, his stories, or that Twins aren't gangbangers. But look, he's like, why she wasn't upset? Well, you just told us that they planned it all out.
You would think that she would despise it and be like, why'd you do this to me? Why'd you take the man I love? Blah, blah, blah.
Huh? The story is this is changed. The story is not that Jay and Val planned taking out K. The play is that Jay took out K. This is how dumb this guy is, that when he's lying, he can't even fill the plot holes. That's why he'll never sell an intellectual property unless he has AI do it for him, and they gotta go through mad shit to get to that point. He's saying Jay did that shit on his own, and then she was like, why did you do this to me? Why wasn't she like that? This is the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life, man. You might as well have said that him and the wife, because you're saying they were dating before, right? So you're saying she wasn't in on the plan? It's a stupid story, bro. Definitely an ear beating. Stupid story.
Why'd you do this to me? Why'd you take the man I love? Blah, 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 blah.
This is the stupidest fucking shit I ever heard. Why'd you do this? You shouldn't have done this. The better story was that she was in on it. That's a better story. If you're telling stories, get it right.
That could raise some eyebrows.
You think? And then all of a sudden he takes over all the supply routes.
He took over all the supply routes? Where'd you get... Is that what happened? He could just take some shit like that from Kato? That was it? He just take his shit? No pushback?
Not a lot of people are talking about Kato's control in the city, how big he was.
Why are they not talking about it? Because they're not exploiting his fucking name like you are.
Control in the city, how big he was.
Now everybody know who the fuck Kato was, especially people in my city.
Like I said, I don't want to give up too much because these people have asked me not to.
Yeah, they asked me not to too, and I didn't. What did you do? Running your lips. Some stuff should be just left in the past. It's fucked up how these people want to monetize the Twins neighborhood and neighborhood heroes. None of these guys that come and use Kato as an excuse to talk shit in here give a fuck about Kato Rangel, man. None of them. They don't know his last name. How about that? They don't know his first name. They don't know the name of his label. Half of them don't know. They only know what gang he comes from. Shout out JP, Shy. So Latin Kings just gonna let Kato get unalived and fall in line? I don't know. And not just him, right? Supposedly he was the distributor for everybody. So, and then they just did business with Jay after that? Wow, sounds like a real fucked up business. But that's what it is, right? It's a shitty business, right?
One of the guys was going to be on a prison jail phone call and allow me to interview him from the prison phone.
Wow.
He said everything vaguely. One of the guys was gonna be on a prison phone call and let me interview him from prison. Was? He's not no more? He's the type of guy that somebody will tell him that, they'll cancel that, and he'll still tell you the was, but he'll say it like it's gonna happen. He's a fucking liar, bro. Not even good at it.
We're supposed to set it up and actually do it.
Oh,
here
we're
in the
supposed
studio.
to set it up. He was. We supposed to.
No, mommy's
He was. He's supposed to. No, mommies.
It's something that's going to be in the works.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the works. He's gonna keep qualifying this same bullshit. This is his magic.
So Jay, let's go down.
I gotta think of some more bullshit that I could say about this guy. Fuck, let me think about it.
Through my intel through the years, I did time with this guy named Rob. And he was kind of on their case. In a way, his paperwork had it. He was on a big...
He was kinda on his case, in a way, somehow. Huh? You could just let any Mickey Mouse go up there and talk on your shit?
fraud case out of Chicago. He's really big in Chicago.
He's big. He's really big in Chicago. He was
Time with
kinda.
this guy named Rob. And he was kind of on their case. In a way, his paperwork had it. He was on a big fraud case out of Chicago. He's really big in Chicago
Really big.
play. I've never heard of the Flores Twins in my life until him, and he's talking about it, and that's how I found out. And through the people I did time with that are on their case said that the Flores Twins were still moving product, trying behind the feds back. They get busted. They were supposed to get...
Didn't they say that shit out loud? Many a time. They said while they were giving the feds loads, they had to keep making shit happen and moving shit because the feds didn't have no answers for them. What the feds want them to do? Stop and go get a job at Walgreens? If you stop moving dope, they know what you're doing, you die. Mission over. They've answered all of these questions, bro. He's not giving you no bombshells, bro. They've admitted and copped to all of it. Tell me something we don't know.
Through the people I did time with that are on their case said that the Flores Twins...
Was it Rob or was the people you did time with? You see how it changes?
No, mommy's wait.
Twins were still moving product, trying behind the feds back. They get busted. They were supposed to get less time during their sentencing, but they try to move a 500 key shipment behind the feds back to put a little bit of money away. And the feds knew about it, but they allowed it to happen because of the amount of cooperation that they were giving. They were just going to hold it against them in sentencing, what I was told. So that was something that I've heard through people on the case, through their attorneys, backdoor stuff. They're not going to expose it all. But this is where it backs up that this is true. So one of the main co-defendants on the case that was pretty high ranking with the Flores Twins, a big distributor, hits me up from federal prison. Mm-hmm. And he tells me that they never snitched on me.
We've heard that too. Everybody be like, these rats, and then you hear people say, they didn't snitch on me, or they try to warn me, or they try to do this, or they try to do that, right?
Protected me at first. So the Twins didn't tell on
They were protecting me at first. The Twins didn't tell.
everybody.
On
They try to
everybody.
protect some people. Why would you protect them?
They try to protect some people. Why would they protect them? Well, you guys want to go by the words that they said on this show. What did they say? They said, hey, man, we saved our lives. We saved our families. Doesn't mean we didn't feel bad. Doesn't mean we didn't try to help good people. They've said this out loud.
If you truly want out of the game, you give up everybody.
Right.
All it boils down to
If you truly want out of the game, you do what they did, you get out.
is the Twins, they never got busted. They approached the feds and told them everything. There was a warrant for them, a reward for them because they had some indictments out there. Mm-hmm. But it's not like they got apprehended and then cooperated. They went and turned themselves in and gave up everything. The feds said they didn't even know how big they were. They thought they were just small level. They didn't realize they were on that level. So the point that I'm making is that they are telling everybody, and they told me that they had a choice. When the cartels went to war in 2006, they had to pick a side, and they knew whatever side they picked, the other side was wanting to kill them. Everybody else was willing to go to war. Them two pussies were like, absolutely not. We're not going to war. We're just going to tell on everybody.
It's funny that you'd call them pussies. A ginger that wouldn't bust a motherfucking grape. calling somebody else a pussy.
So what they did was they went to the DEA. They started wearing wires, started taking everybody down. They got everybody on recording. I don't know if you know that. El Mayo, El Mencho, they got everybody on
Oh
recording.
yeah. They got, you guys got the Mencho recording? Let me see.
Of all these people getting arrested since they've been arrested, since they took down El Chapo, is because of them. You know that they're behind El Mayo getting kidnapped and brought into the country.
Now that right there is just as stupid as the whole Val wasn't in on it shit story. Just as dumb. That they were in on bringing Mayo.
He slipped and said on the podcast that he's in talks with El Chapo's son.
Show it. Where? Where's the receipt for that? That Jay said that. That he's in talks with Chapo's son. Where's that at? Y'all tell me if I'm forgetting something. Did we miss something? So they're also behind Mayo's abduction too. They did it all, bro. They're the masterminds of everything. But he only had these epiphanies after he swung off Jay's nuts for 4 hours, got roasted in the comments, took it like a 12-year-old little girl, started talking shit to me, started talking shit to Jay, instead of talking shit to the commenters. I want the receipt. Where's the receipt? Does anybody know where Jay said to him in that 4-hour stream or any other time where Jay has said he's in talks with Chapo's son?
You know that they're behind El Mayo getting kidnapped and brought into the country. He slipped and said on the podcast that he's in talks with El Chapo's son. Still to this day.
He slipped.
You don't think he's not coordinating? Because I'm hearing through a good source that he's the one.
Where's the slip? Why he didn't make a short showing the slip? He don't got a receipt for nothing that he says? Nothing? It's crazy.
One that was helping him coordinate that whole thing. Why else would you be talking to him?
Yeah, not too many other reasons.
He figured it out, guys. Why else would he be talking to him? What a huele bicho, bro.
No mommy's waiting.
This guy's a mama huevo.
So he admits to me that he helps people cooperate and get paid for it. He helps people give up organizations. He helps.
Admitting to somebody. Wouldn't admitting be it's a piece of information that nobody would know, and they're admitting it. They're owning up to it. The man has a motherfucking a website called Kingpin to Educator, where he talks about how he trains law enforcement. But he admitted it to you?
People become paid confidential informants too. He gives them the connects. He gets a percentage. He consults people doing that.
That's a huge business.
So you don't think he didn't consult El Chapo's son?
I'm sure he did.
So you're going to tell...
Come on, crime, he got you.
Here's the thing you got to realize. So you're going to tell me somebody on El Chapo's son's level with the amount of money and attorney he's got, that he's going to go kidnap somebody without a deal being worked out first? You think he's that dumb?
What you think? You think he needs assistance making a deal? You think he's going to go to the guy that fucking ratted his father? Fucking dummy.
So do you believe when the government says they're not going to give him no cooperation?
No, I don't believe that. That got nothing to do with the Flores Twins. I do not believe that the government is not going to give. I believe they've already given Joaquin Guzman Lopez something. They allowed 17 family members to come over. That's between him and his brother. They're doing special deals. You get a Happy Meal deal now with these motherfuckers, man.
The Flores Twins opted out of going to war. Mm-hmm. They could have picked a side and just went to war. But
they could have picked a side. All right. Let's talk about what Jay has spoken on this channel many times. What P has spoken on this channel many times. When they say, it wasn't just pick a side and fight. They wanted us to kill our friends. Remember, the warring factions sat at the same table. The twins sat at that table because they were the only ones that didn't have to have a middleman. Because they refused the middleman because of the situation that got them there to begin with Lupe Ledesma. They're sitting at the table. Everybody's doing business together. Everybody's eating together. The three main people at the table, two of them separate, go their own way, away from the other guy. There's a war. And now both sides are telling the cash cows, hey man, if I catch you working with them, you're smoked. And the other one say, if I catch you working with them, you're smoked. And this dork says, pick a side, right? Well, let's talk about a real phone call that Jay Flores was on with somebody from one of those sides telling him, you know what? You need to Stop fucking with them dudes. And matter of fact, you need to give up so-and-so. You need to let us have him. Meanwhile, so-and-so is sitting next to him. Because they've all been doing business together for so long. And now they want them to smoke their friends. And they've often asked you the question, and nobody has, everybody has their answer, but they asked you the question. You rather us snitch on them, or you rather us kill them?
They opted out. They decided they wanted to take everybody out. You notice they only took everybody out that was after them. Well, if you're truly out of the game and you want to change your life around, do you pick and choose, or do you take everything? You give up?
He's saying that they only opted out. They only snitched on the people that were after them. So who did they snitch on? El Chapo, right? Chat. Can you tell me why the Flores twins, when they were cooperating for their 9 months on their own with no help of the United States government, with recordings and devices that they were taught to use by El Chapo, right? Why then, when they were cooperating and they turned in El Chapo, did they not turn in El Mayo and Arturo Beltran? Can y'all tell me why? I know you can. There it is. They brought all three of them to the table. The United States government was not concerned with Mayo or Arturo Beltran. They wanted the headline name, Chapo. That's it. It's the only conclusion we come to on just him, other than some type of connection, is that they wanted the headline. And I believe they still work off of headlines. But the twins have told you 1,000 times that they offered up El Mayo, they offered up Arturo Beltran.
So do you believe that they're truly were wanting to do the right thing and move on with their life? Ask Matt that question. He'd tell you I give up everybody.
Get off Matt's nuts.
100%.
Yeah, didn't they? Shout out y'all. Didn't they give them all up and they mainly went after Chapo? That's it. They told him that they didn't want nobody but Chapo. Shout out Malcolm. Salutes to Malcolm. The meeting where Peter was mad that they could have got all of them at a meeting, but they didn't want to pull that off. That's it. There it is.
When the Flores twins finally went to prison, what did their wives get charged with?
I don't know.
Money laundering. So if you truly gave up that life and you truly wanted to start over, don't you give up everybody and all?
I know we've been here a long time. There's a fucking... And I don't like talking about this one because the ladies are still on papers and shit like that. But the money situation goes along the same line as the we offered you all three of the top guys and you only went for one.
They want everybody else to suffer while they get their freedom and still live a lavish lifestyle. So they go to prison and supposedly give up everything, but their wives are doing what out here? Living large. Read the articles. Living large. They're out here living large. They're traveling, house, cartel wives, driving Bentleys or Rolls Royces. I mean, living large. They get in trouble because here we go again. Their older brother just can't stay out of trouble. So the older brother gets in trouble. He cooperates. Let me tell you how scumbags these people are.
He doesn't know the story. He doesn't know it was all the same thing. He doesn't know the whole... He doesn't know the story. But he's willing to lie to crime in his face. Seems like this dude trying to make money off the twin story. Absolutely. He had an opportunity to do it the right way. He bitched out. Bien putita el tipo.
So he can't stay out of trouble. He sees what happens to their brother. Then he goes and does something and he gets in trouble. So he does what? He gives up his sister-in-laws. So instead of targeting somebody else, he targets...
Now, we never asked them because we don't get in too deep, especially when active cases are happening. But didn't we hypothesize? He talks like if Mondo just went and talked. And didn't we say maybe this was a family conversation? For all we know, that was a family conversation. This guy only thinks one way. He can only have one thing in his mind at a time. That's why he got to turn and ask Nelson or Babe for his answers or to validate his answers.
Sister-in-laws are flying back into the country from the islands somewhere down there. I don't want to say the wrong name. Cakes and Kirkos Islands or
Turks and Caicos,
Turks and
yeah.
Caicos somewhere down there. They're flying back. The federales are waiting on them. They have a ledger. They have a book that has a ledger with nothing but money. So what's the ledger? Is it a ledger they don't want to tell us that all the people that still owe him money, or operations that are still running and they're trying to collect and run the operation? Like, or is it a ledger of a bunch of bank accounts where all the money's going, where all the money's hidden and stuff? Like, what is this ledger? So they get indicted. And he wants to talk about, oh, they're just going to prison because they were spending our money. Yeah, the money that you were supposed to give up, the money that you cooperated on. Why is it that you get to keep the money and think that it's all right that they get?
Here's my question. Putita, why didn't you tell him all this when you had 4.5 hours?
So I have an issue with them lying to these youth and making it believe like we only did 12, 13 years because of this. But meanwhile, why don't you tell the truth?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with you. So it's like, at least they haven't threatened me in the comments or the DMs like the rest of them.
You pussy. You're not worth the threat.
Every fight that I pick and things that I've done, I'm ready for the smoke.
Yeah, you don't want listen, you've been very careful with your words about me. Put the smut out. If you got smut, put it out. If you ain't got it, shut the fuck up. All right? All I did was open my platform to you and remind you was acting like a bitch when you was acting like a bitch.
The Flores Twins said when people robbed them, they just moved along. No, they fucking didn't. He slipped and said they knew who the boss was. So
He slipped and said some shit that he did. Well, how is a slip something that just happens one time, or can you slip about the same shit over and over, or is that not slipping? That's just saying the shit. We can't. He don't have no credibility. But I'm telling you what they do say. One of them has said, "We spent money to avoid bodies. We'd rather pay." All this body talk, the feds got a hard on for them. Where's it at?
you might not pull the trigger on them, but you went back and told boss man such and such just robbed us and that's where all your dope is. And he's like, all right, putting a hit on him. You contributed to that hit.
You know what he's going to tell them? What he told them when one of them was prisoner. You still owe me $10 million. There's no hitting, no nothing. There's no telling the boss and pointing the finger.
Don't sit here and say you wasn't violent and you didn't whatever. You fuckers are lying about everything. I asked him, what was the most memorable route that you've ever taken, that you've had? Because they talk about how genius they were at trafficking. Well, of course, El Chapo's tunnels. That's not.
I never heard him say that. Where's the receipt for that? Jay's always said if he bought in Mexico, he still used Mayo, Chapos, and plenty other routes to get it across. Man, we talked about submarines. We talked so much shit. Where did he ever say, oh, Chapo's tunnels?
The one thing you got to realize about us content creators, guys like Nelson, myself, Ian, Matt, if we took a stand and said we're not going to interview anybody who cooperates, we no longer have anything to do. There's very
Fucking right about that. And guess what? Even less, if you weed out the lies, you get nothing, right? And eventually, all of you motherfuckers going to be obsolete. Why? Because there's so much fake shit out there, we are bound for a comeback. Fuck around and find out.
very few guys
Yeah.
that can say they went, they did it right, they took it on the chin, they fought it, they went to jail, they done the bid, they got out. We'd interview the same.
And they don't want to talk. Those guys don't want to talk.
Because Gene, 1 minute wants to fight me, next minute he's trying to be my friend, and then
You're not going to get that out of me. I'll never be your friend. I'll never talk nice to you. We'll never have a man-to-man conversation. Those lines have been crossed. There's none of that. There's none of that. We'll never collaborate. We'll never fucking make up. I'm not much of a make-up motherfucker, man. Right? I'm not much in the place of, and maybe this will hinder me, but I'm not much for forgiveness. I'm for logic, common sense, truth. You ain't never going to hear from me. You're never going to be able to tell nobody that happened in the DM. You're never going to be able to lie about that, dog. It's a wrap. I'm not them.
ding 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 ding